So we've gotten the tree to the house, and as you can see, we don't have a lot of space for this to grow too wide. So this is going to be the perfect tree for this location. Now there's quite a few steps going into planting a tree, and we want to make sure we do it absolutely correctly. So we're going to walk you through it step by step. This is tree planting 101. Let's get started. So the first thing we've got to do is dig a hole. I've recruited some help for that task. Now, a lot of people have questions about how big to dig the hole. We want to dig it just as deep as the soil level, not as deep as the pot, but just as deep as the soil level, if not a little higher. It's always better to be higher than lower. As far as width, twice the size of the pot. So double it to make sure that we have plenty of room for these roots to spread out and grow. So we better start digging. Okay, so we've gotten about the right depth, and we've definitely got the hole twice as wide. It's really important that you give those roots plenty of room to grow. Roots grow horizontal, they don't grow vertical. So now our next step is to get the tree out of the pot and place it in the center of the hole. Now we're ready to start filling back in the hole. I always recommend adding a good compost. Nature's Yield is one of my favorites. You can find it at any independent garden center. Mixing it 1/3 to 1/2 of the whole soil we took out of the hole, mixing them together, and that's what we're gonna put back into the hole. We have filled the hole back in. We've made sure we don't have any excess soil on top of the tree. You're gonna have some extra soil, so if you can't grade it back out and flatten out your bed like we can, you're gonna have some place you're gonna be able to need to dump that excess soil. So now the next step is we're gonna water the tree in well, make sure it has plenty of moisture, especially when you're planting in the heat of summer, and then we're gonna mulch it for the final finishing touches. I always like to, if it's in the middle of the lawn, if it's in the middle of a bed, always providing a nice, good layer of mulch prevents weeds, helps hold the moisture into the ground. One of my favorites, I love the dyed bark. It's with the vegetable dyes, it's not gonna harm anything. And my favorite is the dark brown. You're gonna see that this will completely finish our planting job and finish the planting of this tree. The tree is in, it looks great. One more step, really important. Make sure you take that tag off the tree. It can actually girdle the branch as it matures. So make sure you take the tag off. You might want to save this, put it in a file so remember what tree is exactly planted. And I'm so excited for the amazing fall color this is going to have. So let's quickly review what we talked about today. 1, we had to dig a hole just as deep as the pot's soil level. Not as deep as the pot, but the soil level, and twice as wide. We want those roots to have plenty of room to grow. Then we took a bag of compost. I love Nature's Yield compost. You're gonna mix it 1/3 to 1/2 with the pre-existing soil. You can do this in wheelbarrow, or you can actually do it in the hole as we did. Next, you're gonna make sure to soak the tree in really well so it gets a nice, good drink of water. Probably gonna end up watering this tree every 3 to 4 days, depending on what kind of moisture we get. But remember, rain doesn't count for a whole lot because it usually only waters shallow, and we wanna make sure to water this tree to the bottom of its root system. And winter water will be absolutely crucial. It takes 12 inches of snow to equal 1 inch of rain, and we don't get that enough. Finally, we added a great layer of mulch over the top. Helps insulate the tree, keeps other plants from competing with the tree, and gives it a completely finished look. This was Tree Planting 101. Huge thank you to Nix again for helping us get all the products to plant the tree today. We've shown you how to do this. This is Gardening 101 of planting a tree, but we're gonna go to Gardening 404 because now we're headed up to our friends in Minnesota to find out more about straw bale gardening. Coming up next on Dig In.